Enough! Greetings, Internet. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. Finally, after 1,000 years, my Aion focus group test investigation has concluded. NCSoft has organized the test, selected some people from their fan base, and they fly in to South Korea to headquarters to play Aion 2. Participants weren't allowed to take any pictures or videos, so there is no new additional footage from Aion 2. Also, it took a lot of time to filter out through all the feedback and information. Not only it is in Korean, I also don't know these people, and you have to, do some investigation of those individuals. Are they true gamers, or they are just posers like Elon Musk? I also got kinda distracted sometimes.
야, 오랜만에 왔는데 제발. 깜짝이야. 씨발. 불렀나?
But it is what it is. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. Some time ago, we had experienced quite traumatic event in case of Chrono Odyssey beta test. And we learned, no matter how the game is good, if it runs in 20 frames per second, no matter what PC you have, it feels kinda ass. We will begin with performance claims. The test were performed on the build from March 25. And the computer that the testers were sitting in front of was equipped with RTX 5070. Most of the footage I had reviewed, most of the reviews, didn't say anything about performance issues. Maybe one person say something was wrong about FPS, but generally most of the testers said no reports or reported very good performance on that kind of the setup. NCSoft claims that the game will be playable in high settings with Full HD resolution on RTX 2070. I give them some wiggle room and I will say 2070 Super, okay? Because they can come back, hey, we didn't talk about 2070, we talked about 2070 Super. So what is 2070 Super, how it is performance-wise? I have a chart here. So it's around 4060, 5050, 1080 Ti, 5060, Arc i770, something around this. You should be able to play the game with maximum settings. And it may be actually true, because if everyone remembers, Throne and Liberty optimization was kinda good. The game itself, questionable, but optimization, how the game work and perform, were actually good. Is this gonna be first Unreal 5 game that don't need 6,000 euro computer to work properly? Well, we will find out in a half year. So the game works. Apparently it's not 24 frames per second console cinematic experience. We will see about that. Combat. Everyone wants good combat. And last iteration we have from NCSoft, Throne and Liberty. Oof. Throne and Liberty combat was shit. Was awful, wooden hands, you operate a log basically. So no wonder people are concerned. There are conflicting reports about this issue. Some people say that it feels like Blade and Soul, which is amazing. Blade and Soul combat is peak. And some people report it's like Throne and Liberty. And this is disaster. Oof! Where this confusion is coming from? Game will offer two types of combat at the same time. Action combat mode and classic tap targeting mode. They are experimenting with this idea for like 5 or 6 years, so now it should work perfectly. In action mode, you will feel that the game plays like Blade and Soul, that's amazing. And in tap target mode, it should give you World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy feeling. But why they are cooking this complex, non-intuitive system as their combat? There are two reasons for that. Reason number one, the game will be supported on mobile devices. The only action combat you can do on your mobile devices is put it in your ass, set up vibration to maximum, and tell someone to call you. The second reason is action combat is making the single target spells kinda obsolete. Let me give you an example. Aion is PvP game. You're gonna have 10v10, you hit each other. And now you are fighting against the group that have like 4 tanks, 5 DPS, and 2 healers. And the healers are mixed between in the cluster of with tanks and DPS. And now you are trying to use single target spell to bagoosh the healer. You cannot hit him because they're gonna body block you from reaching the healer. So your spell sucks. And it's again mage AoE meta. So to mitigate that, they give you option of precision and targeting. Blade and Soul, that was mainly action combat game, have the classic targeted mode, and it sucks. Throne and Liberty, what was mostly targeted game, have the action mode, and action mode sucks. So maybe 3 times the charm. At 3 times they're gonna nail it and we're gonna pump! Or it's gonna be disaster. The time will tell. The next big news is that parties will be only 4 people. Healer, tank, 2 DPS. And sometimes for big dig dungeons it's gonna be 8 people. But mostly 4. Why it's good? Because in today's day and age, getting 8, 9, 10, 12 people working together is Christmas miracle. Afking, smoking, wife doing blowjob, food coming, distraction. Getting 8 or 9 people progging the dungeon for 6 hours this is the hardest task. Not the boss, not the dungeon. This is like easy part. Assembling team that is not gonna rage quit halfway. This is the true end game. So making party 4 people makes this way easier. But this is not the end of positive information about the game. This one may be the biggest one for me. When I heard it, I was like, what? For real? When you're gonna drop the item, it will bind to you when you equip it. If you're not gonna equip the item, you can trade it with other players directly. Imagine that. You can trade with other players' equipment. So when you go to dungeon and you are a mage and you drop a bow, you can give it to archer. We waited like 10 years for that. Fucking finally you can play with your friends and there is no more bullshit like, oh, you just dropped the something for not your class and your friend dropped something for you. Well, shit, run the dungeon one more time. This is huge news. This also indicates that the cash shop currency will not be used on market. With direct trading, people will work around all the cash shop currency market shenanigans, so it will probably not be in the game. Amazing news. The final good news I have for you is class system and skill system. Classes apparently feel completely different from each other. Unique gameplay, unique damage, unique cooldown, no homogenization, no 2 minutes DPS window. Everyone plays completely different. Finally! I am sick of those fucking copy-paste homogenization, just different animation bullshit that we have lately to preserve the balance of the game. Also, the skill system, the skill tree, will resemble the one from Patch of Exile. Of course, it's not gonna have 7 million types of skills, but it's just gonna be like the miniature, toned down version for the MMO. For example, you want to achieve 20% more HP, you have to go through plus 5% damage, minus 5% damage taken, plus 5% mana, and then on the top you will get plus 20% more HP or 50. That will allow probably to do multiple builds on one character. Also, you need to take into consideration, like for a tank, you can use swords and shield, and you can also use the great sword. So with that kind of the skill tree, probably there gonna be multi types of the build available for every class. People were concerned that there is only 8 classes, what for MMO is nothing spectacular. and we're gonna lack some diversity. But take now into consideration that probably every class will have like 2 or 3 different flavor builds available for it. Now we're talking and we are looking excited. Ladies and gentlemen, that was amazing rubbing material, and some people now have to change their underwear, me included. So time has come for post-nude clarity and concerns. There are concerns. Personally, I have 2. First is that the game have to accommodate mobile undies. The game is not mainly developed for mobile, it's mainly developed for PC, and the mobile is kinda like glued in together, but they want mobile players to do as much as possible, and they introduce AI assistance. Here is some example reported by the people. For example, as a healer, you can set up the skill, so when you press the skill, it will automatically target the player with the lowest HP and heal him. One button, don't need to aim, don't need to choose from the party, you just press a button and AI will select the person with the lowest HP and you will use the skill. That's not really cool. Next example is when you type in the name of the NPC or name of the quest and press boom, walk me there, the character will path and will automatically run towards your selected target. We had it in the Black Desert, we used to it, it is what it is. It's not really affecting anyone and game breaking. So I give it a pass. The second concern is that we had a glimpse on the pay-to-win system.
솔직히 우리가 일식 게임 하면은 게임은 잘 만들었는데 게임은 재밌는데 그 얘기가 뭐야? 우리가 재밌는데 왜 못해? 돈 때문에 못하잖아.
The dungeons will have limited entry amount. And probably you will be able to buy extra entries to the dungeons. Oh! But this is not the worst part. The worst part is multiple dungeons with limited entry and you can trade between characters. What it is reminding you? What is the Vietnam flashbacks you get? Yes, multiple characters to overcome dungeon limit and trade everything to your main. Lost Ark City multi-alt farming may be back. Ah! 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 Thinking about it makes my penis soft. This is the huge concern I have. I don't want to play 70,000 characters to pump my main. This is the fucking biggest misery in the history of MMO. Oh my god! However, this is not final build of the game. Those are just some assumptions presented by some Korean randoms that I don't even know. I have to personally go to the server and investigate it by myself and look for all the loopholes and cheesy systems. Then we will know for sure. But I have hope that this is just misunderstanding and soon, by the end of the year, we're gonna pump. My nipples are so hard that they can pierce the ceiling. If the police would see me right now, they will arrest me for having 2 weapons attached to my body. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching and hopefully see you soon, very soon. Wizard out. Perf.
니네가 좋아하는 거. 오. 아 애들이 다 커. 아우 큰일 났네. 오. 야.